Yeah, materials are the bedrock for all of the revolutionary technology that we have seen over the last century, right? When you think about it, is the evolution of materials what allow for semiconductors, for telecommunications, for all of the even AI as we're seeing it now with ChatGPT and large language models. There is a fundamental breakthrough in materials which enables all of those things. The problem is materials take a long time to be developed. They really is just it's a very difficult scientific quest, and it just may take decades to evolve from one material to another. And that's a big part of the challenge that we are solving by integrating, as you mentioned, AI workflows into the materials development process. It's not, I think one of the big conclusions that we came to is that it's no longer just viable to have a breakthrough in chemistry, because sometimes these breakthroughs have a lot more optionality to it than what the human mind is able to handle. I think I always like to say humans are pretty bad at making decisions. Like if you have two choices, you can quickly make your mind. You have three, maybe you have made the right decision. Give you five options, you're more than likely not going to rank the options the right way, and things going to go south very quickly.
Yep.
And in science, you do have that optionality. You have many ways that you can tackle a problem. And we think of scientists sometimes as these mighty entities that know it all and they will make the best decisions. The reality is we're all humans and we all have biases and we all have preconceptions. And what we decided to do is to use machine learning to guide that scientific instinct
Yep.
into making the best decisions and narrowing down the space in which they can still make mistakes, but at least narrow it down to a more data-driven, ML-driven kind of approach to accelerate the decision making and make it a more efficient decision making, and therefore faster development.
Right. So it's kind of a weird pairing to have, like, your programmers, your AI engineers on the one side, and then your scientists on the other side. And I can't say like I'm extremely knowledgeable about those personas, but I would imagine there are some major differences. How do you marry those two teams together and kind of create like a good work environment and create a productive productive collaboration so you can actually produce the chemistries you're looking to accomplish?
Yeah, it has certainly been a challenge. I think you pointed that correctly. Is chemists, particularly, they have their own ways of doing things, and when you tell them that you're going to use this algorithm, they look at you in a certain way saying, sure, bro, sure.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
saying that now this algorithm knows everything that I have been studying for the last 10, 15, 20 years. And the reality, it takes some time. It takes some first adopter mindset
Right.
to be able to do this. And not everyone is able or willing to do it. So it's a lot about company culture and how do we select the people that comes into our team. Being a startup company, a small group, we're around 25 people in total. We have the privilege to still be to forge the culture in a way that the people that is here is willing, able, and desiring to really take advantage of these technologies.
Right.
And then on the other side, you cannot just have the typical data scientist. You have to look for people that actually have scientific background and have picked up the data science aspect of things, so they understand the physical world and the data science to bring the two together. And we have, over the past few years, we have managed to do that very successfully, to merging the two cultures and kind of getting both cultures to work together in a good fashion.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a challenge every industry is seeing, even my own. You know, because you've got developers, and programmers that are kind of worried that AI is going to take their jobs. On the other hand, I try to convince them that somebody that understands development and can guide AI to do what it needs to do can hugely accelerate the process of development, and you can use it for specific coding projects, maybe not the whole project but for components of it. And so yeah, I think like facilitating or developing that open-minded culture is something that we're all kind of struggling with right now. So I guess I'd be interested to hear like if you have any pointers or insights, because even a lot of the other manufacturers that might be listening should be integrating AI into their own workflows. And once again, a lot of them just don't really know where to start or how to pair a specific expert in a department with somebody that understands AI to really figure out what the problems are and then develop a solution. So, like, if you have some insights about how to kind of build that, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, well, again, I guess the bad news is there is no blueprint for this just yet.
Right,
And things are evolving so quickly that it really takes the wheel of the person who is at the forefront of things, the management, to have conviction over the destiny that we're all facing of AI being a part of our lives going forward. This is a
right,
force of nature. Nobody's going to stop it. And I think, at least from my view, this starts at the very top. And if there is no conviction that this is the route that the company should go, that the AI should be integrated at every corner of your decision making, I think it's very hard for other people throughout the organization to adopt it. But I think the key pointers for us have been, hey, we have instilled a culture of scientific quest. We are an R&D and a research and development organization, an engineering organization, but at core we're scientists, and keeping that mindset of always ask the tough question and understand that you need to separate the persona from the idea and be able to criticize the idea. That has created this ability to really be more have a culture of pursuing truth and pursuing the ability to do things and pursuing the technical challenge. And that simply opens the doors to say, well, it's not about me, it's about solving the problem. And so if solving the problem, we can do it faster with AI, with machine learning, with these tools, that kind of opens up the conversation and makes people more eager to adopt these technologies. But as I said, it really takes the strongest will to
yep,
convince the team, to
right,
bring the team to the table and talk about the challenges, and 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 then instigate that culture throughout the company. And you need to live and die for it.
right. No, I mean, I've experienced something very, very similar because I've had a pretty strong conviction, like you said, as the leadership in my company, that AI is the way of the future, and we need to figure out how we're going to integrate it into all of our processes. Like you said, come an AI first mindset. And so I've identified specific instances, and I tell my development team, hey, I really think we need to look at AI as a solution here, and they
Mhm.
humor me. That's the sense that I'm getting. They humor me, and they're like, oh, that didn't work, and I'm like, well, only you know the right question to ask next. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm getting shut down here because I'm not a
Right,
developer, but like
right.
you know how you could be using this, but you just don't want to.
Yeah, no, there is going to be a huge resistance, and I think it's, as you said, it's about asking the right question. And I go back to my point about having the right mentality from the beginning, the right mindset from the beginning in the company, of always asking the tough question, always asking the next thing. Because if you want to focus on large language models, ChatGPT or Gronk or all the others, even if you have the best model, you don't ask the right question, you're not going to get to the point where you
Right,
want, right? If you don't provide the right set of instructions, the right prompt in this case, you're still not going to get to the answer that you're looking for.
right,
And in our case, for instance, which is a much more convoluted set of information. We're looking at chemical reactions and um, chemical components and how they interact with each other and how they become a material. We have a lot of the efforts that we have put into this is more about figuring out what is the important information that we need to feed into the model so that the model can learn from the chemical reactions rather than the model itself. Like sometimes you don't need a very elegant AI solution with tons of GPU and all of that. You just need to be able to think about the right pieces of information that you need to feed the computer so that you can get the right answer, and asking the right question, right? Asking the right question, looking at the right metrics. So it's as I said, it's a bit of the cultural issue, but it's also about the targeting the right problems. But you will always find the resistance from people to really adopt this, and it all starts from setting the example and going after those very well defined goals in that sense.
Right. No, I think that's really good advice. Kind of clearly define the problem, taking an AI first mindset when it comes to problem solving, having that kind of live and die for it, pushing it through your culture. I think those are all really good tips.